When you're growing or expanding your business, no matter which industry you're operating in, you inevitably face more and more challenges that affect your project delivery timeframe. With an ever-increasing number of units, there's a point where communication with partners and colleagues gets out of sync, causing higher risks of human error. You lose precious time and confidence in project delivery. All of these issues are predictable and can be addressed with technology. Meet LeverX, a global system integrator trusted by Fortune 500 companies. A full-cycle IT provider with 20 years of experience. LeverX provides solutions that leverage investments in digital transformation projects and mitigate the human factor, helping you facilitate data workflows throughout the organization. Where conventional approaches may take years, LeverX completes projects in a few months, saving you time and money. Join thousands of satisfied clients and bring your business even greater success. Innovate today to lead tomorrow with LeverX.
You're welcome to the live tech demo session. My name is Vitaly Usov. I'm Head of Innovation and Mobile at LeverX, and today we would like to speak about using ChatGPT for document search. So first of all, I would like to talk about our company. Today, LeverX acts as a global system integrator trusted by Fortune 500 companies. And we are operating in 10 countries around the world, having 14 offices. We were recognized by key industry partners and are certified Google, Microsoft, SAP, and Amazon partners. And LeverX actually consists of two brands: LeverX, which is focused on like SAP solutions, and Emerline, which is focused on custom development. So let's switch to the agenda, what we would like to show today. So first of all, we would like to start with the problem of search in private document set and the desired behavior. So how we would like this functionality to work. Then we jump to the architecture and our MVPs that we've built that actually utilize large language models such as GPT and allow users to perform a fast search through the custom documents. We'll dive deep into the training and inference process. Then we have a time for demo and the results of our research, possible use cases, and next steps. So let's start. As first, we would like to define the problem. Why actually that is a problem, and what's wrong with the document search right now. So in most cases, let's actually assume we are having like portal product and we would like to work with documentation. So existing problems currently is that users should type the exact string terms to search for or otherwise contact a support team. That is like the one of the problems. The second one is that such results in most cases are links to particular documents, chapters that need to be reviewed by a user. And the third problem is the complexity integration with chatbot. So if we need to configure the chatbot, so each time we update the document, we need to update it. And we would like to start from the problem of existing search solutions. So let's assume we're having a product with documentation for the end users. And while typing the search request to the system, user actually has like a few challenges. Currently, user needs to type the exact string terms to search for, or just call the support team if there is a possibility to do so. Another challenge when you search using web tool, in most cases, the search results will link you to the part of the documentation, but don't give you exact answer. And the third challenge is the complexity of integration with chatbots. If you would like to build a chatbot, which actually solve frequently asked questions, you need to configure each additional question and answer, how it will behave. After ChatGPT appeared, we think that it's worth to experimenting with this technique in order to solve this problem. So what is the desired behavior of the system? When user asks a question, so ideally to have like a human-like answer based on the customer documentation set. So that it saves user time, so don't need to dive deeper into the documentation. And also currently everybody is using ChatGPT and they expect to have GPT-like experience. And it also should allow us to make a smooth integration with different chatbot channels. So it can be like AWS, chatbot platform, it can be Slack, Microsoft Teams, etc. So having this engine will allow to build smart chatbots faster. So let's go on directly to the architecture of our MVP, what we've built. For like the demo purposes, we've built two clients. The first one is enterprise app built using SAP Build, and the second one we were integrating it with Slack using Amazon Lex. So this is like a two front ends, right? That can be used by a user to ask a question, receive answer. But however, the engine was built on SAP BTP. So enterprise app was connected to GPT processor. This is logic that actually manages the conversation and utilize GPT model in order to like get answers. And for chatbots, we create GPT connector, so it can be used by any other chatbot system in order to connect to this engine and provide like a front end for the user. The all logic is based on SAP CAP, and we also have admin panels that allow you to manage your data set. So we called it a model. So if you have one like documentation, it will be like one model, and you will connect your chat to this model directly. So currently we can process multiple types of source. It can be like a text, it can be like PDF file. Also for some website, we are supporting web links, so you can send a web link and the parser will parse it. So, and as a LLM, large language model, we are using GPT-3 API. So as a part of OpenAI infrastructure. So let's jump deeper to the solution. So we have a like a slide with explanation how training and inference processes are working. So here we train the solution, and I would explicitly mention that we're training solution, not GPT model, which is known as fine-tuning, where we get the documents, and for each particular document, we split it to the chunks. The chunk is actually like a part of the text, which is under the window size, depending on large language model. It has like a limited window size amount of information that the solution can just send it in one request. So we split it to the chunk. Each chunk should belong to one chapter. So the chapter can contain multiple chunks, but in order to make a better results, so we just double check that the chunk is not placed like in the middle of the chapter. So what we do next, then for the next chunk, we calculate the vector. Why do we need it? So the vector, or embeddings, how it's called, is a technique that allow to transform the meaning of the text to the vector. So we calculate it using OpenAI models that is used for embeddings, and save it into the vector database that allow us to perform fast search. And then that is about the training, how we call it. Then about the inference, when the user actually asks a question. So the first thing that we do, we calculate the vector for the question. And then we try to find the similar vectors in our database. Finding a similar vector meaning that we find a chunk that most likely contains the answer to this question. At least the meaning is the same. So we return this chunk and we are ready to send the message to GPT model. We build so-called prompt. The prompt is actually texted instructions that we send to the model with like request what to do. So we send in the question of a user, we send in the chunk itself, or multiple chunks. There are like different techniques to be used. And the ChatGPT returns the answer, which is actually presented to a user via the chatbot solutions. So let's jump to the demo. Let me switch back to our demo environment. So we have like two parts of it. The first one is admin panel. Here we have pre-configured three models, which are related to three different documentations. So for today's demo, we will use SAP Build Process Automation documentation. Here's how it looks like on the official website. So it's about 700 pages if converted to the PDF documentation. So we won't run the training process here because it's take like 5-10 minutes for such size of the documentation. So we directly just jump to the inference part where a user can ask a question. So let's start with a chatbot solution. So we jump to the page that is actually SAP Build application. And we are connected to SAP Build Process Automation model, which corresponds to this website documentation. And we can ask the questions like, what are the product extensions? Product extensions are the actually objects that are described in this documentation in like one big table. So on the background, what's going on, the system is calculated the embedding vector, then finding the chunk which might contain the answer, and then asking GPT to provide an answer. So here we can see there is like a list of product extensions which ChatGPT provides to us. Let's try to find the answer in the documentation. Product extensions. So I know that it's like describing the initial setup. So this is like the table that it was analyzed. So it walks through it and understands that actually the extensions itself, the name of it, are like described in the first column. So it starts from attachments, go down to store left process projects. We can like ask like questions about attachments, right? We can ask what are attachments in product extensions. So waiting for the answer. So the answer is getting the same way. So it just getting the vector for these particular questions, finding the chunk with the answer, and provide the feedback here. So it's actually like gets information from the description and return it back. So that's actually it in terms of technical demo. So I would like to jump back to the presentation and show what are the outcomes of our research and what are the possible next steps. So the possible use cases. So currently we see that there are like multiple directions where this technology can be used. So the first one is about products and corporate portal documentation. When you have some information that you can actually just parse easily, upload it to the system, and have a chatbot that can direct you through this document. Then the policies and procedures. So you can perform like corporate how-to guides integrated into corporate messages as well. So the integration with like messengers, it's really easy by using the chatbot for each particular platform. And corporate knowledge base searching, if you have like a search base and with like a big amount of documents, so there is like possibility to organize search through it. And also like adding links to each particular answer, so you can finally jump to the original source and validate the answer or see some additional information. So the results of the journey, it actually was like our first solution in this area using LLM and in particular GPT. And since that, we saw that it was like deprecation of SAP conversational AI. As a like or chatbot integration, there is some API restriction on our OpenAI site. So for example, the conversational memory, so it doesn't support by default. So it's like engineering tool that you need to build that allows the system to remember your previous questions and your context. It's pretty natural for those who are using ChatGPT in daily life, so that it remembers the context. So out of the box, it is not supported by API, so that's something that needs to be developed on top. The limited window size of the models, but that's like limitations that we will always have. So that is why we cannot just put all in the documentation in the context and get an answer. That is why we need this indexing and splitting document to the chunks and then working with chunks separately. And the privacy topic is that some clients that we are working with, they might have a preference to have it on premise, right, and not in the cloud. So in that case, I need to select different LLMs, not OpenAI. And the next step, so what we are doing currently in this area, so we already completed the research in custom models, custom LLMs that can be used in such type of solution. So we are working in like rich output of this solution, and not only providing the answer, but also the links to this part of the documentation that have the answer. And also recently GPT-4 was released, so we're also making tests on these models with bigger window size. That's it. I would like to thank you for your time, and for those who are watching us online, feel free to add any questions to the chat. Otherwise, you can scan the QR code and send us like an email or with your questions, or add a comment under this video. Thanks and have a great day.